That's it. Time to go. Pledge allegiance to our flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Have a moment of silence, please. Corinne, roll call, please.
Counselor Chamberlain?
Here.
Counselor Heising?
Here.
Counselor Schneider?
Here.
Counselor Simon?
Here.
Counselor Tiarena?
Here.
Council President Stickley?
Here.
We have 6 members present. We have a quorum.
Thank you. Did everybody get a chance to look at the minutes from the last meeting? And if so, can I have a motion to approve them?
I will.
I'll second.
Motion second. Any discussion? If not, all for it, say I do.
I do.
I do. We're marrying.
Or I don't.
Anybody in the audience that objects?
Yea or nay? You see, it's gonna be fun when Harold runs.
I would turn things over to Corinne as much as you possibly can.
Or do you wanna call it yes or no? We just do it as one motion, don't we?
Yeah, all in favor.
Okay.
Aye.
Opposed? It passed.
As long as we get there.
Now we'll go to
Sickness
tree
and
commission
health.
and Mr. Jeremy.
I was there was a gentleman in the corner of Cherry and Franklin. He had a tree on his boulevard that was dropping quite a bit of branches, debris. He wanted the city to come in and remove it, or somebody to come in and remove it. Or I think he was even gonna look at somebody to come in and remove it, but the tree commission kinda was hesitant on setting the precedence there. So they tabled it for this point. Other than that, I mean, there was a stone removed or taken from Bannister in Glenwood. I think they talked about replacing that. I don't know, but
Was it just like?
it was a memorial stone.
Oh, okay.
So,
Oh, really?
yeah, somehow that come up missing.
Hmm.
But other than that, I had to leave at that point to go to work.
Do you know what kind of tree it was? That's
I do not, I'm not a tree expert
letting
at this
the
point.
debris
I'm
fall?
getting there.
Okay.
Yeah, you
On
are.
the boulevard or not?
I was in the boulevard.
I was gonna go look at it, but I did
Yeah.
not. Did anybody go look at it? Cherry and Franklin?
I have not, I mean, I've been by there, my mother-in-law lives in that neighborhood.
Is
I'd
it
be
the one-
curious to
it's
know
the one
which-
that's got
which
the
kind.
round
I can text
Seed
you.
pods
Sarah.
on it?
Thanks.
I have it.
Yes.
in the notes.
And they constantly fall?
We'll
I'm
do-
gonna let Sarah know what kind it is. I have it in my emails.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I
I
know
don't
the
know. I'll look later.
I know the tree commission at whatever point was going to have kind of like a listing of the different trees that are in our urban forestry, areas, and it would be nice if maybe there was a recommendation to not plant that tree.
I think
in
that-
Boulevard
that's
in the
pretty much-
future, you know
but
what I mean?
this-
That's all, that's where I'm going with
This
that.
type of tree, there's two of them that are fairly similar.
Mhm.
So that's, and I don't know if they've researched that back and when they planted it. This guy's lived there the whole time the tree's been there, which has been about 20, 25 years.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So it's been there a while. So,
But it seems like a healthy tree according.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
other than that, it's just a dirty
Dirty
tree, according to the homeowner. So,
I had mentioned the other day that I thought maybe the tree commissioner or somebody could look into planting trees at Biddle Park along the road so that
Okay.
in future years you got some shade for the parade and things like that.
break, windbreak.
Yeah,
But yeah, they didn't brought that up
Yeah.
at this point.
I'm sure the tree commission could make recommendations for that too,
Yeah.
what would work well,
Yeah, the city,
if
they.
it gets to that point.
The tree commission is very knowledgeable on
Yeah.
trees.
Mhm.
So they're gonna make the right recommendations, I guarantee it.
And I think Steve was talking for homecoming, in the future.
Right, right.
Yeah.
So that they could have shade. It's gonna take a long years, but if you don't start, it'll
Well,
never get done.
The right tree, I guess, grows quick enough
Yeah.
that it'll
Yeah.
We don't
provide
like
tree with your
cottonwoods.
cup. Yeah, or, yeah.
No cottonwoods.
No.
cottonwoods.
Or any of these trees with seed pods.
Right.
But I think the tree commission should be notified and maybe look into it and get some input on it.
Yep, I can say something.
Okay. Anything else, Jeremy?
Nope.
Thank you, sir. No rulings, no motion, no nothing.
Not while I was there.
Okay. So Brandon, you're at the bat, sir.
All right, safety and code. So we do not have any recommendations either, but we met and Chief Kessler was seeking a process of mitigation regarding infested homes. And it was a challenge because we don't want to invade on people's rights and take over entirely, but we want to make sure that we have language in our code that states, when something happens, X, Y, and Z must happen next, and like really, really fast. Within, I think it's 24 hours is what we were saying. Is that what the window was? Do you remember? Something like that, 24 hours, 48 hours. But so they are going to go back to the drawing board with Tom to try and figure out what we can actually do to keep the community safe if we happen to come to a house that's kind of been abandoned or whatever and it's been infested. Then Chief Chittenden wanted to talk about permits, and so there is nothing right now as far as permits for food trucks, and so he brought forward a couple different ones from different areas around here, and is going to create a permit for food trucks to come in. And I think kind of what spurred this along was that the Chick-fil-A truck was coming in. It wasn't a food truck, it was just, they were just serving food from there, they weren't cooking in that, but it made us aware that there's nothing really in our code to put permits out there.
Mhm.
So now we've got that is getting built out, and then also possibly creating some permits to utilize pavilions in local parks, which is really gonna help eliminate, well, hopefully eliminate arguments. So if somebody gets there first and then another family comes to try and sit in on the birthday party or whatever, it's like, hey, what are you doing? I have the permit, I went through the proper things to reserve this spot. And so Chief Chittenden's also gonna be looking into that and bringing forth some recommendations to safety and code. And I think he'll probably be getting the top for that too, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know we mentioned it in the other meeting, but I would encourage it to be called a reservation instead of a permit, as that to me is confusing, and I think it would help the public to understand.
Yeah.
They're not really filing for a permit to just use a pavilion, but they could make a, an actual reservation so that they know that they can plan for an event.
Yeah. Thank you, Sarah.
I guess that's
for
my,
that. No, that's
my only
good.
thought.
Yeah, because I think you're absolutely right, where when you hear the term permit for a park that's public, you would think, wait a minute, why can't I just go in there? I'm already paying taxes on it. So, yeah, thank you, Sarah, for that addition. And there was no recommendations at this time. So once they kind of get everything legalized with Tom, then they'll come back and then we'll have some recommendations
So,
after that.
more meetings.
Of course.
And I agree with Sarah on that. A reservation for this, for a date, time,
Mm-hmm.
is a great idea.
I know once upon a time for a birthday party, I reserved a pavilion, one of the ones that they had behind Souter Village, like back by the lake. And,
Yeah.
I planned and made invitations regarding that, and I think I did pay a fee, but, you can't really plan for something and get there and then someone else is staking it out to
Yeah.
use for the day, so I think it's helpful to do that.
It's a good
Yeah,
idea.
because we even talked about like a chalkboard system type of deal where people would come and like write their name and time and stuff like that. But I'm not sure what Chief Chittenden's actually gonna bring forward. So,
I was told that we were having problems with people planning events in the city and kind of ignoring the whole permit issue. Did that
never.
come up at all?
That's never
Okay.
happened, ever. I haven't heard anything like
Okay.
that. That did not come up.
Okay,
Did it? I don't,
I haven't heard.
yeah, no.
okay.
Who are your sources? You can tell me.
Yeah.
There was mention though at the last meeting about possibility of another maybe smaller pavilion being put in Greer Park, maybe behind the bigger one, so there's more.
Available.
Because a lot of people come watch their kids swim, but then other people want to come and have a party in that.
Very popular area.
It is very
Yeah,
popular.
yeah.
And,
I think Keith's gonna work on a parking lot in that area, the old Hodgenaki property.
Mhm.
And I think we, the city, should continue cleaning it up and maybe build another bridge across and maybe some more pavilions in there for the people that wanna utilize it.
Right,
You know, I think it's a good area.
yeah, and the pool is just always hopping.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it makes sense to invest in that area.
Yeah, very much so. Okay, thanks, Brandon.
Yep.
So moving forward, department heads must have got the memo that I was gonna run the meeting.
All but Tom.
Tom
did not get the memo.
Therefore, Tom is here. So now we go to Tom.
Yeah, I don't really have much to report. I'm happy to answer any questions for stuff that might be pending, but I guess by way of a few PSA announcements, actually, we had my family had rented the pool on a Saturday evening after the 4th of July. Had 20, 30 family and friends there. It's just a great situation. I mean, the lifeguards are great. You're just in and out. Slides are running. We used the pavilion next to it before we had our little swim party, and actually there was somebody there ahead of time, but they agreed to let us have half, and they had half, and so that worked out nicely. And then also, we were talking before council meeting about the pickleball courts. I mean, that's just really nice over there, the development. Just this past Saturday, they were full at 9 o'clock at night. I think it was people left when it started getting dark, but it's really being used heavily. And again, in the mornings, of course, I think we talked about that.
Are there lights out there or not?
There are not.
No.
People talked about that though.
Oh, I'm sure.
Steve would prefer, I don't know if he has a preference with the sound of the balls carrying at
doesn't bother
11
me.
o'clock at night.
People get upset, that doesn't bother me. That's, as long as they're entertaining themselves, having fun.
I know that Keith is not here, but I did, when I drove down Chute today, I saw some work going on around where the hybrid beacon is going
Yeah.
in. So I don't know if, they're actually starting or what the work was,
It looks to
But
me
it-
like the state championship sign is gonna have to be moved. I think, or a listing of all the state champions in the city of Wauseon, I think that's gonna have to be moved, so. I think that's a Hanson sign.
Yeah, Keith's still on vacation, I do believe, till the 19th. Is that right, Corinne? But I know that, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he said they're gonna put the concrete in, and then they got a lot of it set up, but we may not get the poles or the rest of it till October.
Yeah, quite a ways.
Is that
yeah.
about right?
Yeah.
So.
There's a large gap.
But at least we're moving forward. So, but yeah, I think, and I agree, and I think everybody, Homecoming Park has really came along for our community in a lot of directions. And now it's getting utilized much more for everything, which is good.
It's a great space.
And the trails are in great condition, been running those regularly. Ed Knopfsinger's been out there doing some fixing and some, cutting down some trees, and I think we mentioned before, we've got that program to get benches replaced and installed, and a couple of them, I think, out by the new kids area. So, yeah, it's a really nice area.
It's moving.
We're enjoying it.
Very much so.
Yeah.
Anything else, Tom?
I do not.
Okay, that brings us to the first reading, which is Resolution 2024-20, authorizing the mayor to enter into an agreement with leasing of copiers and fax machines from Perry Pro Tech. And Jamie's not here, but was everybody here when it was explained about what we're doing? Or is there any questions on it?
I'm comfortable with it, I'll make a motion to move forward.
Okay.
I'll second.
Motion to place resolution 2024-20 on first reading, moved by Counselor Chamberlain and seconded by Counselor Heising. Any discussion? Counselor Chamberlain?
Yes.
Counselor Heising?
Yes.
Counselor Simon?
Yes.
Counselor Tiarena?
Yes.
Counselor Schneider?
Yes.
Council President Stickley?
Yes.
6 yeas, 0 nays, motion carries.
There is no second reading, there's no third reading. New business, I don't think there's any.
The only thing I'd like to throw out this time, I'd like to thank F&M Bank for their Saturday
Community pool day.
community pool day. I just drove through there, saw Brandon sitting there with his family, got out. They had a DJ playing, they had hot dogs, they were serving hot dogs, and it was, that's the biggest crowd I think I've ever seen at the pool.
Yeah, it was awesome.
It was
They did a
beautiful.
really, really good job.
Yeah, that was nice.
The
Which
DJ
bank was it?
F&M.
F&M.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, the DJ was great.
Yeah.
And the food was good and, yeah.
Yeah, people were busy. I thought, well, giving away the free food might hurt the concession stand, but they closed the party at 3, and I looked inside the pool, and the concession stand was like 15, 20 people long.
Yeah.
I can't get the free stuff anymore, I'm going in there, you know, but it's, and like I said, I drive through there, and there's license plates from Defiance, Lucas, Williams, Henry County, all over the place, Michigan, enjoy the pool. And be nice if some other people would throw that out there every couple of weeks, have a party in the park and get people down there. That's all.
So the only thing I came up, I did talk to Matt Manetti today about Old Business Tiny's tournament, which was June 28th, 29th, 30th. Said they had 42 teams. They played 80 games. The only thing they made money on was gate fees and pop and concession. There was 6 age brackets for the baseball games. Through the WRA, they had some problems Saturday with rain. Otherwise, it was a great turnout and a great thing with the WRA and the city. So
They don't charge any entry fee?
he said there's just gate fees coming in because it's our thing, Tiny's tournament, I guess. So if there is any more information, we'll have to wait till Mayor, or we can get Matt to help explain it, or Jamie to help explain it to us. I can only give you what I was told.
Have they started doing the interviews yet, Corinne, do you know?
I believe that's next week,
Next week? And there was 39?
30.
Oh, 30. Wow.
So I guess back to the tournament, I mean, I guess I'm confused. It went great, but we didn't make any money,
City
correct?
did not make any.
But-
By the time, Matt said, by the time they had gate fees of people coming in, and I don't know if the teams paid any money. He said there was some from Bryan, some from Columbus, and to come to the Tiny's tournament, you know. And they paid out for umpires and people that was working the concession, and everybody else. There wasn't that much money left. And I didn't get a chance to ask Jamie how much came into the pauper from there. And the president of WRA is not there. At the August meeting, they got to elect a new president because the temporary one resigned.
How many teams there?
42 teams,
Yeah.
Typically,
and they played 80 games.
15 years ago, it cost you $300-400 to enter a tournament.
Yeah, but
back
does that go
then.
in towards the payout?
Yeah,
So-
yeah. But, you know, if you had 40 teams, then 42 teams, and even if you charged them 200, there's another 8,000. I mean, that could be used for things. And if that was done every other week, it's.
I
last
guess
weekend,
I'm just
everybody there.
curious, you know, I've heard several times the city didn't make any money, the city didn't make any money. So I get that, but did the WRA make money? And what's the missing piece? You know what I'm saying? Because other people hold tournaments and it's not a wash. So I guess that's what I'm curious about.
So, well, let's, as council members, let's do this. I think we should ask the question to Jamie, have Matt, maybe the WRA in August, come to our meetings and give us an explanation and a breakdown.
I'm glad we didn't lose money on it, you know, but
Right.
I'm just curious.
I mean,
It
it would
doesn't
be
make any
interesting. I
sense,
agree
so.
with Shane. Let's find out what's going on, huh?
I think it's a great, I think the tournaments are a great way to bring people to the city and to spend money in the city, and I think it's great for our local economy, so I guess you know, would just like to know more about why it seems like, oh, we're doing a great job. The tournament was very successful, but we didn't make any money. So I guess you know what I'm saying?
I don't
That's all.
disagree. I think we need to look into it further.
Yeah.
You
I would
think?
like to know the structure, like, the staff that they have out there. I know we're paying for 2 full-timers out there. Is the city paying for the concession help, or is that WRA cutting that check? I would like to know that kind of stuff.
And the umps too, because
The
that's
umps is gonna be,
expensive
yeah.
now too.
The umpires will be paid with the registration fees from the teams. And I agree with Steve, it has to be at least $300 a team.
Yeah.
So they.
So is on, I know I'm on, we don't vote at the WRA as council members. Is Jeremy on, also Jeremy took
Mhm.
Scott's place?
Mhm.
So I think that Jeremy and you and I should go to the WRA meeting when it's gonna be, and then discuss that with the WRA, and Matt and Hugo will be there, and then ask them to come and brief council at either the council at the whole meeting, and ask Jamie to bring information in, and so everybody can see what's going on.
Because there is a good chance that the city flipped the bill for all the staffing and the WRA reaped all the benefits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know about 10 years ago, my grandson got asked by one of his previous coaches who ran tournaments. He said, would you be willing to go to, it's like Missouri or Kansas for 2 months? And I've got a bunch of tournaments lined up out there. I'll pay you $15,000 just to go out and run them. So I mean, you know, he had to be getting money coming in because he wasn't going to do it for nothing and give the guy a run.
Well, I just think it needs to be a little bit more transparent.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of investing more in that, you know, whatever that structure is to create, you know, business for the city. I mean, that benefits the taxpayers.
Yeah.
But I don't feel comfortable when we have a big tournament and just, you know, we're just, all that we know is we just didn't make any money. So, you know, when it's brought up continuously about possibly, you know, growing that, you know, I guess it just needs to be transparent to know that that structure's in place to be able to, you know, throw support that way.
And I think there ought to be about a half dozen tournaments or something out there. I mean,
Yeah.
it
Yeah,
just
we should have
doesn't
a ton.
happen. Yeah, it doesn't happen.
Yeah, Harold, I think we could all use a little report from the WRA, maybe giving us a sense of how it went.
Yeah, and Matt and Hugo,
Yeah.
and bring, and ask Jamie if the city recouped any funds at all, whether we did or didn't.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we need to, as council, we need to know these things. I mean, if we're gonna invest more into Middle Park and baseball band and
Yeah.
softball, we need to know what's going on. So Corinne, when the WIR meeting comes up, make sure Jeremy and I know about it, please, okay? Super. So moving forward, next business is approve the bills.
Make that motion.
Second, is it? Jeremy?
Motion to approve and pay the bills as presented, moved by Counselor Schneider and seconded by Counselor Simon. Any discussion? Counselor Schneider?
Yes.
Counselor Simon?
Yes.
Counselor Tiarena?
Yes.
Counselor Heising?
Yes.
Counselor Chamberlain?
Yes.
Council President Staley?
Yes.
6 yeas, 0 nays, motion carries.
So before adjournment, is there anybody that has anything betterment for the council? If not, can I get a motion to adjourn?
Thought someone was gonna say I do.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
Motion to adjourn, moved by Counselor Chamberlain and seconded by Counselor Tiarena. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.